Are you looking for ways to get sponsors for your podcast? Yeah, I know sponsorships can be a great way to monetize your podcast and make it even more successful. But the question is, how do I do it? In today's episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast, I'm going to give you 5 proven strategies for attracting podcast sponsors. That's right. One of the most popular ways to make money from a podcast is through sponsorship and advertising. Now, it's going to take some time to attract those sponsors, but if you have a high quality show with a dedicated following, you're probably going to be able to start attracting them and doing great with sponsorship and advertisers within the first year or two. Now, another way to attract sponsors or to monetize your podcast is through affiliate marketing. That's where you promote products or services and you earn a commission on any of those sales. Building a relationship with companies that offer affiliate programs may take some time, but you also have plenty more options. But in this episode, I'm going to share tips on how to get sponsors for your podcast, and we're going to cover topics such as researching potential sponsors, creating that pitch perfect podcast, and building relationships.
Are you ready to join the billion-dollar podcasting industry? If so, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is ready for you. Whether you're just starting out and have no equipment, or you're a seasoned pro but need help with production, Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio has everything you need. Conveniently located in Middletown, Delaware, Blake's state-of-the-art production facilities make producing your first or 100th podcast a breeze. No matter what kind of project you have in mind, the professionals at Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio can help with your production or give you the tools to produce it on your own. At the heart of Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio is award-winning blogger, vlogger, and CEO Antoinette Blake, and her goal is simple: to help one more entrepreneur be successful. So stop making excuses and start making your podcast, audiobook, e-course, and other online dreams come true. Call Blake's Booth Podcasting Studio now. 302-261-3530. That's 302-261-3530.
Hello, and welcome to the Delaware Blogger Podcast. I'm your host, Antoinette Blake, the GE Diva, a.k.a. the Delaware Blogger. And every week I come to you with podcasting pointers that will help you to share your mission and your vision just by using your voice. And a new episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast publishes every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you wish to be a sponsor of a show, please send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. Now, today's episode number 341, we're talking about proven strategies for attracting podcast sponsors. So the first thing you want to do is research those potential sponsors. You want to make sure that your show is reaching their target market audience as well. You want to make sure that the companies are a good fit for your podcast because their audience is going to be interested in your content. So do a brain dump. Think about all those sponsors. If you need to use search engines or AI or social media or even publications to find companies that might be interested in sponsoring your podcast. And don't forget, look right next door. There's probably companies and mom and pop shops right in your own neighborhood. So once you've identified those sponsors, research them further. Look at their website. Check out their social media accounts. Any information, Google them. Make sure that you know as much about them before you go out and create that pitch, because this is going to help you get a better understanding of their target market audience and start following them on social media. Share their content, make comments, let them see that you're out there. Then once you do that, you've got your list. Now you got to create that pitch, right? You've identified the potential sponsors. Now it's time to create a pitch. And your pitch should have information about your podcast, your audience, as well as the benefits of sponsoring your podcast. You can put it together by, introducing yourself and your podcast, explaining why your podcast is unique and would be a good fit for the company. You can provide your analytics, your audience, the demographics, the age, the gender, the location. Again, have all this ready and make sure that you explain the benefits to them as to why sponsoring your podcast would be a good for them. Will it be increasing their brand awareness? Will it be providing them with a new audience? Will it reach another target audience that they might want? Know your podcast worth. You can communicate that with your sponsors if you have that information, and also highlight any unique benefits of advertising on your show, right? Say you've got a very engaged audience on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. This is going to help you establish a strong position when you do negotiate your prices, right? The third thing is building that relationship with the sponsors. Again, going back to researching them. Once you found them and you said, these are the types of companies that I'm interested in, and you start following them, start building a relationship with them on social media. You can send them an email. Make sure you leave comments and share their content so that they can see that you are active and who you are. And when you reach out to them, perhaps in an email, include the link to your podcast and any other relevant information. Remember all those stats, your demographics, and you know what? You can offer them, a free sample, like you can do a shout out on a show. I'd like to shout out, ABC company, they just moved into the neighborhood, da 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 da. And then once you've made that contact, you can follow up. You don't have to be a pest, but just keep them updated on your podcast or any changes. And that's building that relationship. They need to see you several times before they're ready to connect with you and work with you. Now, if you have that podcast package already set, that information should contain, who you are, what your podcast is about, your demographics, but also it should include some discounts or incentives, right? Let them know that, you can put together a package for them that's going to be, a win-win for you both. Offer incentives, and while you're doing that, write it out. Make sure you have everything in writing. Yes, yes, yes. And if they don't want to be a sponsor, perhaps we can do a little cross promotion. You can promote me at your event. If you're having an outdoor event and you want me to come and cover it, I'll be there. Or do you have an event that you just want to get out there? I'll shout you out. Start with that because again, you're a new podcaster. You're trying to build and grow, and they need to see that as well. And once you've negotiated, okay, yeah, I'll be a sponsor. I'd like to do this many shows. Get everything in writing. Yes, yes, yes. How they're going to be billed, Cash App, Venmo, a check, how you expect to be paid, invoicing, and be open to a financial agreement. So if they say, I'm going to pay you $25 per episode, make sure that you are documenting that. When you run the advertisement on your podcast, make sure that they know. Include the links to that show in the invoice if you can, so they can ensure that they are getting what their money's worth. So make sure you have a written contract with all the agreed upon terms. That way, everybody's on the same page. There's no misunderstanding. Everything is clear, right? Crystal clear. And then once you've got that in writing, you've got that invoice, you've done everything, you want to promote, promote, promote. Promote your podcast. I know you're doing that anyway, but when you have sponsors, you want to even, do it even more. This is going to help you reach a larger audience, and it's going to make your sponsor feel like they've gotten their money's worth, and they may even refer you to others. So promote, promote, promote. Promote your podcast on social media, in any publications, on, flyers and handouts, on your website, increase the search engine optimization on social media to get more sponsors to find you. Use that hashtag sponsor, when you're promoting your show. This is a great way. Again, this is a great way to monetize your podcast. Getting sponsors for your podcast can be a great way to monetize your podcast and make it more successful, because now you feel like you're really invested in this and you're going to be doing the best that you can each and every week. Now, again, to get sponsors, you're going to need to research potential sponsors. You're going to need to create a pitch, build relationship with sponsors, offer various podcast packages. You can tier them, one sponsor or 5 sponsors, or however you want to do it. Make it comfortable and easy for you, and then promote that podcast, as to get even more exposure. Now, these are just a few tips. I'm telling you, I'm just giving you 5 proven strategies that have been, tested by other podcasters to attract podcast sponsors. It may work right away, right out of the box, but it may take some effort. So, take your time and think about a lot of these sponsorships, candidates, people that you can connect with. There's places like health and wellness companies, financial services companies, education companies, travel agencies, food and beverage companies. Someone that has a vending machine or vending opportunities, they can be a good sponsor. Entertainment, or their local entertainment venues in your town that you can promote on your podcast. Automotive dealerships, right? Also, fix-it shops. Retail, obviously, is really big. Other professional services, local chamber of commerce, economic development, fraternities, sororities, colleges, and universities. These are just so, these are some prime sponsors that you can get on your show. So again, today's episode, we talked about strategies for attracting podcast sponsors. So if there's anything that I've said in today's show that you felt you want to share, because sharing is caring, make sure you do that. Subscribe, leave a review or rating, and check out a couple of other episodes while you're over here too. Please subscribe to my blog, delblogger.com, because you're going to find the show notes with more information and links to the ability to purchase my book, Podcasting Your Purpose Resource Guide. And if you send an email to info@ablakeenterprises, you can get a complimentary 15-minute discovery call to talk more about starting your podcast or even enrolling in my 5-week podcast coaching session. So until the next time, this is the ZE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. And remember, sharing is caring. So please share this episode of the Delaware Blogger Podcast.